Chapter 81. Shi Feng was shocked after reading the system notification. Blackbeard's favorability of him rose to 1,000 points, reaching the level of revered. System, congratulations. You are the first player to achieve revered favorability with an NPC. Rewarding one mysterious iron treasure chest. Luck really can't be stopped once it comes. I wonder what items will come out. Shi Feng impatiently opened the refined mysterious iron treasure chest. Inside the treasure chest, there was a piece of equipment and an ornament. Dark Pursuer's Cape, Secret Silver Rank. Equipment requirement, Agility 70. Defense plus 20. Strength plus 4, Agility plus 8, Endurance plus 4. Movement speed plus 2. Evasion plus 6. Additional ability, Silent Steps, allows the user to arrive at the target's back silently. Maximum range of 40 yards. Cooldown, 3 minutes. Interpreter's Pendant, Mysterious Iron Rank. Level 7. Equipment requirement, Intelligence 30. Intelligence plus 6, Endurance plus 2. Magic damage increased by 5%. In the current times, these two pieces of equipment could be considered extremely rare. It was especially true for the Dark Pursuer's Cape. The cape was well suited for weapon specialists, and it would definitely increase their strength when equipped. Meanwhile, Silent Steps was an ability similar to the instantaneous movement of mages and shadow steps of assassins. It was equipment meant for PK-1. The Interpreter's Pendant was even more of a top-tier ornament. Just based on the 5% increase in magic damage alone, mages could continue wearing the pendant until level 20 without falling behind in the slightest. Let's give this ornament to Blackie. After some thought, Shi Feng deemed that Blackie was most reliable person right now, and he was also a mage. As for the cape, he was currently unable to equip it. Its requirement of 70 agility was just too high. At the very least, Shi Feng needed to be level 10 before he could equip it. Looking at the equipment, Shi Feng suddenly recalled that he was already level 5. Just by relying on the Abyssal Blade's attributes, in addition to adding his 6 free attribute points into strength, he was now able to equip the Silvermoon set equipment. Just at level 5, Shi Feng was able to equip the best set equipment for swordsmen under level 10. His overall attributes were literally without rival, and the quests he would do later on would become much easier. Hence, Shi Feng added all his free attribute points into strength and equipped the 5 Silvermoon set pieces. Also, now that Shi Feng was level 5, the swordsman's dual-wielding talent had activated. Shi Feng was now able to wield 2 one-handed swords. Shi Feng then took out the secret silver-ranked Crimson Blade, equipping it on his sub-arm. After completely equipping himself, Shi Feng was shocked when he took a look at his own attributes. There were very, very few players with attributes like his in all of God's domain. Not to mention the set effects on the Silvermoon set equipment. Effect 1. Attack power plus 1.5, defense plus 3.0. Effect 2. HP increased by 10%. Life Shield, Tier 2, after activating, creates a life shield that absorbs 60% of the damage received, with 500 maximum damage absorbed. Effect 3. Damage received reduced by 10%, attack speed increased by 10%. Shi Feng's HP was now close to 1,000 points. With these 3 effects, he was even tankier than an MT. His damage output had received an even larger improvement. Wearing a suit of silvery white armor, the pitch-black abyssal blade hanging on one side of his waist while the bloody red crimson blade hung on the other, Shi Feng was like a hero that traveling around the world. There was still some time before the meeting with Gentle Snow, so Shi Feng received 2 advanced quests from Hammerstone Town. They were all quests requiring him to kill level 10 twin-headed snakes. The quests required 20 snake galls and 30 venomous fangs. After completing the quests, Shi Feng would be able to obtain rare ore and forging materials. These materials were all needed to make the mysterious iron equipment and weapon, and normally, they were extremely hard to find. After jogging for over 20 minutes, Shi Feng finally arrived at an oasis in the white sand desert. There was a group of twin-headed snakes circling nearby. Twin-headed snake, common rank. Level 10. HP 950-950s. Although the twin-headed snakes had low HP, an average level 10 player would not be capable of going solo against them. Normally, they would need help to take these monsters on. Monsters in God's domain would have a qualitative change once they reach level 10. Their attack patterns were extremely flexible, and they knew how to defend against attacks. These were traits you would not find in common monsters below level 10. Without plenty of battle experience, average players would find it very hard to block or evade their attacks. Apart from this, their attacks would carry an additional special skill, and a slight slip in attention would cost players their lives. As for the twin-headed snake's attack pattern, it would usually attack with one of its heads, while defending with the other. Because of this, a solo player would find it hard to deal damage. In addition to the fatal fang skill it possessed, as long as it bit a player, they would be poisoned and lose 50 HP every second for 15 seconds. If they did not dispel the poison, an average player would practically lose their lives to it. Shi Feng slowly closed in on the twin-headed snakes. Before he even reached the 20-yard range, a twin-headed snake the height of an adult spat out its tongue, rushing towards Shi Feng. Since he had been discovered, Shi Feng took the initiative to rush over as well. Wind Blade. The abyssal blade transformed into a black streak of light, piercing towards the vital point of the twin-headed snake. The snake reacted extremely quickly. One of its heads immediately bit down on the abyssal blade, preventing the abyssal blade from moving a single inch. Meanwhile, its other head opened its mouth widely, its sharp venomous fangs leaking a bluish-green poison as it bit at Shi Feng. Shi Feng's other hand waved the crimson blade, the weapon transforming into a red streak as it slashed at the twin-headed snake. Pung! He stuck as the twin-headed snake was retreating, and a damage of over 60 points appeared above its head. On the other hand, Shi Feng only lost slightly more than 10 HP, and he did not retreat even a single step backward. Following which, the abyssal blade slashed towards the undefended belly of the twin-headed snake, immediately causing -96 damage. Incidentally, the abyssal blade's ability, Doom Curse, was triggered, greatly reducing the twin-headed snake's attributes. However, Shi Feng was not finished. He continued slashing the crimson blade, piercing the twin-headed snake's vital points and causing another -112 damage. By the time the twin-headed snake started reacting, its HP had already been reduced by half. When one of the snake heads bit at Shi Feng, he dodged to a side, and his foot stomped on the ground, pushing him forward. His actions caught the other snakehead by surprise, rendering it unable to attack or defend. Double chop. The abyssal blade and crimson blade pierced deeply into the twin-headed snake's abdomen. Shi Feng then abruptly pulled on them, slashing apart the twin-headed snake's body and leaving 2 long gashes. 2 damages appeared above the twin-headed snake's head, -156 and -132. In addition, the snake also received a bleeding debuff. The twin-headed snake still wished to retaliate. However, before it could reach Shi Feng, it bled itself to death. System. Level 10 twin-headed snake killed. Level difference of 5. Express obtained increased by 500%. Obtained 1000 Express. The twin-headed snake contributed a snake gall to Shi Feng. Shi Feng did not use many skills throughout the entire killing process, mainly only using normal attacks. He easily took care of a level 10 monster. However, Shi Feng was still not satisfied. It was especially true for his first piercing attack. The twin-headed snake actually blocked the attack. Otherwise, he would have been able to kill the twin-headed snake with a series of continuous strikes. Shi Feng then started searching for his next target. After an hour, Shi Feng had killed over 40 twin-headed snakes. His experience rose to 81% of level 5. His leveling speed was like a rocket, and his experience gain was even faster than that of forging equipment. Shi Feng couldn't help but have mixed feelings about it. With the entire Silvermoon set equipment in addition to 2 top-tier weapons, killing monsters that were of higher levels became extremely easy. If the situation continued as such, Shi Feng would reach level 6 in less than an hour. I'm still missing 3 snake gulls and 5 venomous fangs. However, all the twin-headed snakes in this area are already dead. It might take a while for new monsters to respawn. Shi Feng observed his surroundings. There was actually not a single twin-headed snake present. Shi Feng had no choice but to run to another spot to grind twin-headed snakes. However, just after taking a few steps, 3 twin-headed snakes slithered out from the oasis. Amongst the 3, one of them had larger heads than the other 2, and there was also a horn on each of its heads. This was a snake king patrolling its territory. A rare elite, is it? Shi Feng licked his lips when he saw the twin-headed snake king, his lips revealing a faint smile. A rare elite was not something that a person could often meet. It would appear randomly, and its strength was slightly more than normal elite monsters. Its drop rate was also extremely good. Being able to meet one depended all on luck. 1. PK, player killing. Chapter 82. The twin-headed Snake King, along with its 2 subordinates, slowly slithered towards Shi Feng. However, it did not discover Shi Feng's existence. Its tail calmly swayed, and its head proudly raised as it overlooked its own territory. Meanwhile, the 2 normal twin-headed snakes were closely following the Snake King. They did not act proudly like the Snake King, but more like bodyguards, their chilling gazes sweeping across their surroundings. As long as there were any signs of activity, they would immediately become their king's sharp swords, killing all enemies that were harmful to their king. From when the twin-headed Snake King approached his location to when it turned around and left, Shi Feng only watched it, silently. However, Shi Feng was in no hurry to make a move. Instead, he stealthily followed it, using observing eyes on it, and waiting for the best terrain to start his attack. Twin-headed Snake King, rare elite. Level 10. HP 4000. The other 2 twin-headed snake guards were both common monsters. They were both level 10, and they both had 1400 HP. Shi Feng was about to face 3 level 10 monsters together. Moreover, there was even a rare elite amongst them. Even though Shi Feng equipped with a full Silvermoon set equipment, he still needed to plan properly before taking action. After all, the few can't fight the many. Also, the snake race had extremely quick movement speeds and the Snake King even more so. Shi Feng followed the twin-headed Snake King to an area filled with sandstone. There were several stones taller than a person here that could be used to obstruct the twin-headed Snake King's vision, so Shi Feng finally started taking action. Shi Feng would be at a big disadvantage if he were to take on all 3 twin-headed snakes at the same time. So, he needed to split them up and kill them one at a time, with the common monsters taking priority. Shi Feng immediately used Phantom Kill, letting his doppelganger stay behind waiting while he took charge. Shi Feng used Windblade, his sword stabbing at the nearest twin-headed snake guard. With the ambush and the speed increase from Windblade, the twin-headed snake was not able to react to the attack at all. Shi Feng's 2 swords immediately stabbed it in the backs, causing damages of -76 and -61. Following which, Shi Feng used Double Chop, causing -103 and -89 damage, and leaving the twin-headed snake guard with a bleeding effect. Shi Feng was fully equipped with top-tier equipment and high-leveled skills. Even if the twin-headed snake guard had a high defense, the damage Shi Feng could cause was extremely high. If it were a level 5 average player attacking the twin-headed snake guard, With the level suppression in the monster's high defense, they would at most cause -3 or -4 damage to it. The twin-headed snake guard wailed in pain. It immediately spun its heads around, attacking Shi Feng. The other twin-headed snake guard also came over, biting at Shi Feng. Shi Feng now received attacks from two sides at the same time. Shi Feng slightly smiled at this. He used Thundering Flash, sending 3 streaks of thunder at one of the twin-headed snake guards. However, the twin-headed snake guard reacted extremely quickly. One of its heads blocked, while the other bit at Shi Feng. The 3 streaks of thunder were blocked, causing an insignificant amount of damage. Just as the snake's venomous fangs were about to bite down, Shi Feng used parry and activated Windwalk. After blocking an attack, Shi Feng immediately turned around and ran. The twin-headed snake guards would naturally not let go of an enemy who angered them. Slithering at high speeds, they chased after Shi Feng. As for the unharmed twin-headed snake king, one could see boiling rage in its chilling eyes. It, too, slithered and chased after Shi Feng. However, just after the twin-headed snake king moved several yards, Shi Feng's doppelganger used Windblade and rushed at the twin-headed snake king. The doppelganger slashed at the twin-headed snake king's neck, causing -24 damage. The twin-headed snake king was enraged by this attack. With the speed of a thunderbolt, the twin-headed snake king bit at the doppelganger. As the doppelganger's goal had been achieved, it, too, activated Windwalk, turning around and leaving. Now, the twin-headed snake guards were separated from the snake king. Although the 2 twin-headed snake guards were tough, without the support of their king, they were unable to stand against Shi Feng's fierce attacks. One move after another, Shi Feng's blades would always strike at the vital points of the twin-headed snake guards. After all, the Silvermoon set equipment was not just for show. Right now, Shi Feng's agility exceeded 60 points. Even if the twin-headed snake guards could defend against one of Shi Feng's attacks in time, they would still be struck by his other sword. Every sword that landed would take away 60 to 70 HP, while the occasional critical hit would cause over -150 damage. Shi Feng's sword strikes were like a fierce gale passing by. The sword strikes constantly landed on the 2 twin-headed snake guards, causing their HP to fall madly. Within a few moments, the 2 twin-headed snake guards breathed their last breaths. After looting the drops, Shi Feng rushed at the twin-headed snake king. Currently, the doppelganger's HP had fallen below 30%. It was exhausting itself trying to pin down the twin-headed snake king. The rare elite's attacks were extremely quick. It would, from time to time, spit out a poisonous fog, enveloping a large area with it. The doppelganger only possessed 50% of the original body's attributes, so it could only constantly defend and escape. Otherwise, it would have long since dropped dead. However, now that the original body had arrived, the doppelganger did not need to pin down the twin-headed snake king any longer. Shi Feng immediately used 9 Dragon Slash, shooting out 9 phantoms of the abyssal blade. Shi Feng then used Defensive Blade, his attack range greatly increasing. He could only attack from afar when facing the twin-headed snake king, who was capable of spewing out poisonous fog. If he were to enter a melee with the twin-headed snake king, he would not last 20 seconds. Even if he were to activate all of his life-saving skills, he still would not survive. The twin-headed snake king was very cunning. When facing Shi Feng, one of its heads defended against Shi Feng's attacks while its other head constantly attacked his doppelganger, paying no attention to Shi Feng himself. After 3 to 4 hits, the doppelganger could no longer take it, vanishing. Meanwhile, the twin-headed snake king's HP was still over 70%. Its other head now turned to stare at Shi Feng. It opened its mouth, spitting out a mouthful of poison. The poison was like an arrow as it shot towards Shi Feng. Shi Feng's expression suddenly sank. His body dodged sideways, avoiding the poison. When the poisonous fluid struck a sandstone, the fluid immediately passed through, leaving behind a large hole. This was the twin-headed Snake King's corroding acid. If one were to block it, though a secret silver weapon might still be fine, a common weapon would immediately melt. As for a bronze weapon, its durability would, at least, be reduced by half, and taking 2 hits from the corroding acid would turn it into scrap. In such a way, one man and one snake started maintaining their distance between each other, attacking and dodging. Shi Feng madly slashed his swords, streak after streak of swordlight filling up the area. Meanwhile, the twin-headed Snake King's 2 heads spat out poison without halt, leaving behind countless holes. From time to time, it would also fill a large area with a poisonous fog, leaving not even a blade of grass alive. From time to time, Shi Feng would be poisoned during battle. After over 10 minutes of constant battle, even though Shi Feng was constantly drinking basic regeneration potions as soon as the cooldown was finished, his remaining HP was only at 8%. Meanwhile, the twin-headed Snake King still had 14% of its HP remaining. Seeing as both their HPs were low, the twin-headed Snake King revealed a sinister look. Its size faintly increased by a fold. Then, suddenly, it leapt into the air. One of its heads widely opened its mouth, revealing its snow-white poisonous fangs, while its other head spewed out poisonous fog. The twin-headed Snake King used an attack pattern that contained both attack and defense, and as long as Shi Feng closed in on it, he would be trapped in the harmful fog. Going all out now? Currently, Shi Feng could withstand the poisonous fog for 3 seconds at best or take 1 strike from the Snake King itself. Hence, Shi Feng took out a bottle of basic regeneration potion from his bag, gulping it down and recovering 180 HP. In his other hand, Shi Feng took out a polymorph scroll. Just as the twin-headed Snake King was about to land, it was immediately turned into a sheep. Thundering flash. Chop. Double chop. Earth splitter. After a series of attacks, the twin-headed Snake King only had 5% of its HP remaining. However, it had transformed back into its original form, while its surroundings were filled with poisonous fog. The twin-headed Snake King's recovery speed increased by a fold while inside the fog, while its enemies would madly lose their HP. Shi Feng immediately retreated, using Abyssal Bind on the twin-headed Snake King. Shi Feng then took out the Tier 1 magic scroll, continuous flame bombs, and started chanting. 5 large fireballs smashed onto the twin-headed Snake King's body, taking away the last of its HP. The twin-headed Snake King dropped 4 items as it died. System: Twin-headed Snake King killed. Level difference of 5. Express obtained increased by 500%. Obtained 5,000 Express. Shi Feng finally loosened his breath. As expected, a level 10 rare elite was extremely hard to deal with. If he did not possess the Silver Moon set equipment and the Tier 1 magic scroll, he would have been the one to die in this battle. Fortunately, Shi Feng killed it. Amongst the 4 items dropped, there was the level 8 mysterious iron staff, Song of Life, meant for clerics. Its overall attributes were quite good, and it also increased the levels of recovery skills by +1. It was absolutely a top-tier staff. The next item was a level 10 bronze cross shield with average attributes. However, shields were considered rare items, so it was already pretty good that one dropped. The final 2 items were the Snake King's gall and the Snake King's skin. Both were rare materials in making poison and leather armor. The quest items had already been collected, so after some rest, Shi Feng returned to turn in the quests. He obtained the rare forging materials, and his experience increased to 91% of level 5, just a little more before reaching level 6. Looking at the time, it was not long before the arranged meeting time. So, Shi Feng started heading towards the level 8 area, Fizzy's Canyon. Chapter 83. Fizzy's Canyon, a paradise on Earth, it was a place filled with lush green vegetation. Multiple streams of water flowed through the canyon, while flocks of birds flew in the sky above. The forest, as well, was filled with the sounds of hundreds of birds squabbling with each other. Although this place was beautiful, right now, there was not a single player that came here to level up. After all, the highest leveled player right now was just level 6. Normally, they would be safely leveling up in level 6 or level 7 areas. Fizzy's Canyon was a level 8 monster area, and level 9 monsters could even be found in the inner areas. For a short period, there wouldn't be any players coming to disturb this place. More importantly, Shi Feng was here for the unique quest, Steel Fortress Baruya. This quest was extremely important for him to establish his future guild. In Shi Feng's previous life, the player who completed this unique quest, just by relying on the quest rewards alone, increased a second-rate guild standing to first-rate. However, now that Shi Feng had received this unique quest, he would use it to benefit the guild he would establish. After entering the canyon, Shi Feng used the demon's mask to alter his own appearance. He transformed the silvery white Silvermoon set equipment into a suit of shining pitch black set equipment. It could be called the Black Moon set equipment. Shi Feng also altered his face into one of an older gentleman, his age around 26 to 27. He then donned a black cloak, his face hidden within the cloak. At first glance, his appearance exuded a strong sense of mystery, allowing others to think he was a man with a story. Shi Feng's get-up was somewhat similar to the Night Ranger, 1. Only he had 2 longswords hanging on his back rather than a simple black bow. Moreover, Shi Feng was not of the Night Elf race. Now that Shi Feng had disguised himself, nobody would be able to recognize who he was. Even with Gentle Snow's discerning eyes, it was impossible for her to recognize him. Arriving at the meeting location, Shi Feng discovered Gentle Snow and her group had yet to arrive. Shi Feng called out the system notifications, taking a look at the sales condition of the forging designs this time around. Sold out already? Shi Feng looked at the series of notifications, his eyes almost shining. There were over 10 notifications from the auction house, and every one of them notified him that he had an increase of around 3 gold coins. Shi Feng auctioned a total of 20 pieces of forging designs, yet, they were sold at an average price of 3 gold coins. One could just imagine how desperate these guilds were. However, compared to the price of 3 gold coins, these guilds that bought the forging designs could also, very quickly, earn that money back. God's Domain had only officially started 3 days ago. Along with the increase in time, there would be more and more people joining God's Domain. The number of new players might even exceed that of the old players. These new players were the main consumers, and the supply level 3 glimmer chest plates would be unable to meet the demand. In a short period, the value of the glimmer chest plate would not depreciate, and instead, its value might even increase. However, Shi Feng's goal had already been met, so he no longer planned to make more glimmer chestplate forging designs to earn money. Right now, his bag was holding over 50 gold coins. These coins were the entirety of the fluid funds of more than 10 large guilds. If Shi Feng were to use all of it to operate a guild, how formidable would this be? Unfortunately, money was not the only thing needed to operate a guild. Shi Feng took out 20 gold coins and registered them on the virtual trade center. After all, he couldn't just keep all those gold coins on hand. If he did that, he would be throwing money away. Based on the selling price right now, these 20 gold coins were worth 180,000 credits. Shi Feng did not imagine things would go so smoothly. He earned so many credits in just 3 short days. However, if he wanted to start a good workshop, such a small amount of money was still insufficient. To start up Shadow Workshop, Lan Hailong invested 5 million credits from the start. In the following month, he even invested over 10 million credits. One could just imagine how much money it took to start up a workshop, not to mention a guild with thousands or tens of thousands of members. However, after the workshop and guild were established, things would be greatly different. To a guild, hundreds of thousands of credits was nothing. Xi Feng still needed to earn a lot of money. Hence why Xi Feng had chosen to work with Gentle Snow secretly. "Are you Black Flame?" A voice as crisp as a jade falling to the ground came from behind Xi Feng. Xi Feng turned around, discovering Gentle Snow's beautiful figure walking over while sizing him up. Although it was their second time meeting, he was still unaccustomed to Gentle Snow's attentive gaze. In a slightly deep tone, Xi Feng said, "Correct. I am." Hearing Xi Feng's answer, moreover receiving the information proving Black Flame's identity, Gentle Snow's beautiful eyes focused. She secretly used an observation skill. Suddenly, Gentle Snow stared blankly. She was unable to discern Xi Feng's name. The information only showed him as an unknown level 5. Gentle Snow originally thought that Black Flame only had good forging skills, many lucky encounters, superior strategies, and relatively good gaming skills. She never imagined that Black Flame's gaming skills were not just the average kind of good. He was definitely a top-tier expert. Otherwise, he would not be able to obtain such a high-grade item. Special items that could hide a person's identity, even Ouroboros did not possess a single one of such an item. They had also never heard of any other first-rate guilds obtaining one. Meanwhile, not only did the mysterious man in front of her possess such an item, but Gentle Snow could also feel a powerful strength emanating from the equipment he was wearing. Even though the equipment's special effects were hidden, a single glance at the equipment's delicate make and the magical markings circling it told Gentle Snow that it was a set. In fact, Black Flame's equipment might not be any worse than hers. Her equipment was obtained through the efforts of the elite party behind her. How much time had they spent obtaining them? How did the man in front of her obtain such good equipment? Gentle Snow attentively gazed at Xi Feng. She was even starting to suspect whether or not Black Flame was a player or the leader of a mysterious organization. Otherwise, how would he possess such financial and physical resources to carry out all those tasks? His title of Chief Forger was even publicly acknowledged by the players of Star Moon Kingdom. Just carrying out tasks such as forging and organizing would take up most of his time, so how was it possible he obtained such a good set of equipment? "Hello. I'm called Gentle Snow, first vice leader of Ouroboros." Gentle Snow stretched out her jade-white hand in a very formal manner. It was different from the casual meeting when Xi Feng first met her, where she regarded Xi Feng with a superior attitude. The party members behind Gentle Snow were all shocked. They never imagined their leader would actually take the initiative to shake hands with someone else. Was this older gentleman in front of them that powerful to necessitate such formality? Zhao Yueru, who stood behind Gentle Snow, was constantly sizing up Xi Feng with her beautiful eyes. Prior to this meeting, Xi Feng's series of performances had caused her to become very interested in him. Now that she was meeting him in person, she discovered that Xi Feng's entire body was exuding a mature and calm feeling, causing others to pay attention to him inadvertently. Now that even Gentle Snow had given her approval, Zhao Yueru had a faintly better impression of him. "Hello. You can address me as Black Flame." Not wanting to act too aloof, Xi Feng shook hands with Gentle Snow. He discovered that her hand was very soft and smooth as expected. If Blackie were to know of this incident, he would most likely shake Xi Feng's hands, then not wash them for 3 days. The reason why Xi Feng did not completely alter the Silver Moon set equipment's appearance was to awe and intimidate them. Seeing the satisfying results, Xi Feng got right to the point and said, "I have contacted you this time to cooperate with your Ouroboros. I wonder what your opinion of this is. Of course, we welcome it very much. If you are willing to become the chief forger of our Ouroboros, just state your price," Gentle Snow said with confidence. She guessed that Xi Feng would demand an exorbitant price. However, as long as they could successfully poach Xi Feng, then everything would be worth it. Moreover, with her current influence, satisfying Xi Feng's appetite was no problem at all. Miss Snow, I think you are misunderstanding something here. I will not be joining your guild. Instead, I will be using an equal status to cooperate with your guild. If Miss Snow is unable to make this problem clear, we do not need to continue this discussion. Finished speaking, Shi Feng turned to leave. 1. Night Ranger, a special elite found in the Deathly Forest dungeon, mentioned in Chapter 25. Chapter 84. Seeing as Shi Feng was about to leave, the members from Ouroboros were stupefied. There was actually a man who would treat Gentle Snow in such a way. He even discarded the chance to work with Ouroboros without hesitation. Zhao Yueru panicked, her words caught in her mouth. She almost wanted to hold back Shi Feng and mediate between them. Even the wise Gentle Snow had yet to speak. If Zhao Yueru took action herself, her standing out might cause the situation to worsen. So, without a better choice, she just pulled on Gentle Snow's arm, secretly reminding her. However, what Zhao Yueru did not know was that Gentle Snow was similarly stupefied. She did not imagine that Shi Feng's goal from the start was not to join Ouroboros but to cooperate with them on equal standing. However, did Shi Feng have the qualifications to do so? Ouroboros was not as simple as it looked. It was a colossus in the virtual gaming world. The resources in its possession were not something an average player could imagine. To be able to cooperate with Ouroboros with equal statuses, at the very least, they needed to be a first-rate guild equally. On the other hand, the man before Gentle Snow wanted to cooperate with Ouroboros on equal standings as if it were a matter of course. For him to be so confident, did this man truly have some sort of hidden power standing behind him? This was also not an impossibility. Being able to carry out this series of matters, in addition to obtaining such a set of equipment, was not something a person could do within such a short period. Black Flame definitely possessed the support of a great power. That's the only way he would be capable of causing the vicious competition that was happening right now. According to their guild statistics, the income Black Flame obtained from selling the forging designs exceeded 60 gold coins. Meanwhile, the fluid funds of a first-rate guild right now did not exceed even 3 gold coins. If this money were utilized properly, it would allow a first-rate guild to surpass the other first-rate guilds instantly. Becoming a super guild would not be a problem. Suddenly, Gentle Snow felt chills crawl down her spine. As the vice leader of Ouroboros, she actually failed to notice such a great hidden power. However, for a power to be unknown to her, one could just imagine how deep this power hid. Fortunately, she was able to discover it now. Whether they were a friend or a foe remained unknown. Please wait. Gentle Snow urged Shi Feng to stay, saying, "You, too, should know that our Ouroboros is a first-rate guild. There are not many powers out there who possess the qualifications to work with us. If you can prove that you have the ability and capital and that your proposal would bring Ouroboros great benefits, then we can come to an agreement." Humph. Ouroboros sure does have a very big tone. You should know that the first-rate guilds that I can choose to cooperate with aren't just limited to you. Shi Feng turned around and looked at Gentle Snow, acting as if he did not place Ouroboros in his eyes at all. Afterward, he took out one of the level 10 mysterious iron equipment forging designs that he bought from Blackbeard, waving it in front of Gentle Snow's face. He then said with a sneer, "I wonder what thoughts you will have after seeing this. Do you think I have enough qualifications? How could it be?" Gentle Snow could not believe what her eyes were seeing. Her heart was filled with extreme shock. How did you obtain a level 10 mysterious iron forging design? Right now, even the level 3 glimmer chestplate forging design was being fought over insanely. The value of the forging design in Shi Feng's hands right now simply could not be imagined. To the elites of a guild, the level 3 glimmer chestplate forging design was not particularly useful. The main purpose of a guild obtaining it was just to earn money and nurture their own forgers, increasing the advantage that their guild possessed over others. However, when compared to the forging design that Shi Feng was currently holding, the glimmer chestplate forging design was not even worth being mentioned. Led by one step, then lead to every other step. This was the natural law of the virtual gaming world. Every guild knew of this law. Trade secret. Don't think too much about it. Shi Feng kept the forging design. If there aren't any other matters, then I'll be leaving. It was absolutely impossible for Gentle Snow to allow the person in front of her, who possesses a level 10 mysterious iron equipment forging design, to leave. Moreover, to allow him to cooperate with another first-rate guild. If she were to allow the other first-rate guilds to obtain him and mass-produce these pieces of equipment, equipping every elite member with it, then the competition for the kingdom's capital would no longer be necessary. All right, I agree. State how we should cooperate then. Gentle Snow grit her teeth, yielding to Shi Feng in the end. Hee, but I don't wish to cooperate with you anymore. Shi Feng said in a deep tone. You? Gentle Snow's expression suddenly turned cold. However, very quickly, she calmed back down. She no longer had her high and aloof attitude, her face revealing a calm smile as she said, I apologize for my previous poor manners. I wonder if you can reconsider? Our Ouroboros is willing to pay double the price of the other guilds. Shi Feng nodded his head, saying with a smile, all right then, seeing as you are so sincere. After this scene, everyone else thought that they had heard wrong. The incomparably proud snow goddess actually surrendered. Moreover, she even apologized for her previous behavior. How terrifying was this black flame? Currently, Zhao Yuru's eyes were shining as they looked at Black Flame with admiration. She knew full well how proud and intelligent Gentle Snow was. Since meeting her, Zhao Yueru had never seen a person who could make Gentle Snow apologize. I wonder how you wish to cooperate? Gentle Snow sent a glare towards the snickering Zhao Yueru behind her, then looked back at Shi Feng and asked. It's very simple. I am planning to establish a loose lifestyle organization called Horizon Alliance and recruit all sorts of lifestyle players. You just need to help me advertise it and spread its influence, and I'll give your guild a discounted price. I'll even sell you equipment and tools that are unavailable to the public, Shi Feng unhurriedly said. You really want to establish such an organization? Gentle Snow was slightly shocked. Although she did not think highly of Shi Feng, the terms he stated were very attractive. Zhao Yuru's eyes widened in shock. She unbelievably looked at Shi Feng, feeling he was too insane. After everyone else heard Shi Feng, they all thought that Shi Feng simply had too much money to waste. He was actually trying to establish such an organization. Shi Feng's plan was truly outrageous. It was utterly impossible to unify all the lifestyle players. The financial resources, physical resources, and manpower required to carry out such a feat were simply too great. Every guild has been nurturing their own lifestyle players. Moreover, they only recruited the elites among them in order to avoid wasting resources. That meant that the leftover lifestyle players were just mob characters, and there wouldn't be a big effect if all of them gathered together. The resources needed to nurture these lifestyle players were even more needless. There was not a single guild out there who was willing to bear such a price. Of course, if it were to succeed, the profits would be truly unimaginable. You don't have to worry about this. When the time comes, I will naturally notify you to help me advertise the organization and spread its influence. In any case, you all don't have anything to lose. Of course, I will give you all some remuneration in advance. 10 glimmer chestplate forging designs should be enough for your guild to nurture quite a few forgers. If Shi Feng were to advertise the organization himself, not to mention how much time it would waste, the effects would not be that great. He would need a lot of time to increase the organization's influence. However, it was a different story if Ouroboros were the ones advertising the organization. They could practically cover the entire Star Moon Kingdom, greatly shortening the process of gathering influence. Gentle Snow gave Shi Feng's offer some thought. It was not much work for them to do the advertising. They could also obtain 10 glimmer chest plate forging designs now, allowing them to widen the gap between Ouroboros and the other guilds. They would also be able to nurture a large batch of lifestyle players, earning even more coins. As for the matter of establishing such a lifestyle alliance, nurturing lifestyle players in large batches meant it was a process of constantly spending money. It wouldn't be long before such a plan would collapse. Nurturing lifestyle players was an extremely tough task. If Shi Feng did not possess the resource and financial support from a large guild, it would be very hard for him to obtain any achievements. Following which, Gentle Snow signed a contract with Shi Feng, stating that she was willing to help Shi Feng spread his organization's influence throughout the entire Star Moon Kingdom. After doing so, Shi Feng must repay her with 100 pieces of level 10 mysterious iron equipment. At the same time, Ouroboros will be able to purchase equipment and tools from Shi Feng at the discounted price. Gentle Snow looked rather happy after receiving the 10 glimmer chestplate forging designs. She passed the forging designs to an assassin, letting him take the forging designs back to the guild. Then, she looked towards Shi Feng, inviting him. I see that the number of humanoid monsters is quite high here. Although their levels are slightly higher, it is a good place to level up. Why don't you level up with us? It would be much faster than leveling up by yourself. Chapter 85. Gentle Snow's invite caused both Zhao Yueru and Xiao Yuer to pay attention. Shi Feng's strength must definitely be great. However, they have never specifically seen him in action, so they were extremely curious about his capabilities. They wanted to experience the strength of the rumored chief forger of Star Moon Kingdom. Right. Join our party, Big Brother Black Flame. Our party members are all very skilled, so our leveling efficiency will be a lot higher, Xiao Yuer said from the side. Zhao Yueru sent a glare towards Xiao Yuer. The girl actually made the statement before she could. Xiao Yuer hid behind Gentle Snow, cutely sticking her little tongue out at Zhao Yueru. Zhao Yueru stamped her feet in anger, causing her chest to bounce indefinitely. If it were not for Black Flame being present, she would have taught this little girl a lesson right this instant. Although the beauties were filled with interest in Shi Feng's strength, the remaining two male players had their fighting spirits raised instead. Just what did Shi Feng possess to earn the attention of the three beauties? Suddenly, a heart of competition grew within them. They looked at Shi Feng with a provocative expression, not believing that they were any worse than Shi Feng. Regarding these provocative glances, Shi Feng paid no attention to them. He said in a low tone, "Thank you for your kind intentions, Miss Snow. However, I have a quest that I need to do here, so I can't level up with everyone." A quest, is it? Gentle Snow was slightly shocked. This place was a level 8 monster area, so she was extremely curious about this quest Shi Feng possessed. However, trying to ask about someone else's secret would be impolite, so she formally said, "Then, we won't disturb you anymore. If you need help, just ask. Although we don't know how much help we could be, we will still try our best to assist you." Shi Feng smiled faintly when he heard Gentle Snow's offer. It was naturally good news that there was someone willing to help him. It would not be an easy task entering the steel fortress Baruya. There would definitely be monsters there, and it would take Shi Feng a long time to deal with them by himself. If there were such a powerful party helping him, then he would be able to save a lot of time. That's great. I need to go to a certain place. However, there are a lot of monsters there, so it won't be easy for me to enter by myself. Can you all help me clear the area? Shi Feng implored. Originally, Gentle Snow was still thinking of a way to deepen the relationship between them and Shi Feng. Never would she have thought that Shi Feng would actually take the initiative to ask them for help. Gentle Snow quickly said, "Okay, I'll invite you to the party. You lead the way." Shi Feng accepted the invite, joining Gentle Snow's party. Under Shi Feng's guidance, the party of players quickly arrived at the core region of Fizzy's Canyon. We'll arrive after passing through this forest. However, the number of birdmen here is very high. They are all living up in the trees and are hard to detect, so you all have to pay attention to the birdmen descending at any time. If they catch you in their talons, they will carry you high up into the air, then throw you your death, Shi Feng informed as he walked.
It's just a bunch of birdmen. What's there to be afraid of?
Watch how we'll take care of these birdmen. The shield warrior of the party clapped his chest, speaking in a disdainful tone. Shi Feng spoke no more, only silently pushed aside the tree leaves that hindered his path. However, Gentle Snow was not careless. Instead, she commanded, "Everyone, pay attention to the air above.
Protect the healer."
Yes. The two male players immediately turned serious, not daring to be careless. They tightly guarded Xiao Yuer's sides. As long as Xiao Yuer survived, she would be able to revive them after leaving the battle. That way, the express and skill proficiency lost would be massively reduced. As expected, not a moment later, 4 white-feathered birdmen descended from the treetops. The sharp talons on both of their feet shot down with shocking speed, like an eagle hunting its prey, catching the male ranger in an instant. The remaining party members reacted quickly, either using their weapons to block the talons or avoiding them completely. Get rid of them. Yueru, attack the birdman that caught Little Song. Yuer, stay in the back. Gentle Snow shouted orders.
She used Whirlwind Slash on 2 birdmen. However, the 2 birdmen reacted very quickly, avoiding the attack by flying up into the air.
Following which, Gentle Snow used Charge, running to save the male ranger named Little Song. Although the twin daggers in Little Song's hands constantly retaliated, the talons of the birdman were too hard.
No matter what he did, he could not hack away the talons gripping his shoulders. Although he wanted to attack the birdman directly, his position prevented him from landing a hit on the monster's body. He could only helplessly dangle, slowly rising into the air.
Zhao Yueru used a flame explosion on the level 9 birdman's wings, causing -53 damage.
The flames burned away some of the birdman's feathers, causing the birdman to plummet from the sky instantly.
Gentle Snow was already waiting down below by the time the birdman landed. She directed a cleave at the birdman's neck, sending the birdman and its prey flying with the attack and causing -61 damage. Facing the level 9 birdman, Zhao Yueru and Gentle Snow dealing such a high amount of damage despite the level difference of 4 levels was quite good. The injured birdman looked pitiful. However, birdman had a total of 1000 HP. Just this amount of damage was nothing to it. It would be better again after rubbing some spit on its wounds. Moreover, it was the first time Gentle Snow and the others dealt with the attack patterns of flying monsters. They did not know any effective attack patterns and battle techniques. Although Gentle Snow's party managed to save the ranger, they were still at a disadvantage against the 4 birdmen hovering in the sky. Aside from Gentle Snow and Zhao Yueru, who managed to deal over 50 damage to the birdmen, the damages dealt by the ranger and the shield warrior did not exceed 20. However, it was not because they were weak, but because the birdmen were wearing leather armor. Their defense was not low. In addition to the level suppression, the 2 male players would be unable to deal any significant damage. What is this brat trying to do? He still hasn't helped out after all this time. He is even watching from the side. Is he just a paper tiger? The shield warrior, unable to stand by idly and watch, ridiculed Shi Feng in a soft tone. However, just as the shield warrior finished speaking, Shi Feng took action. With an abrupt leap, Shi Feng jumped past the trees, arriving in the treetops. Now that Shi Feng's agility had reached 40 points, in addition to activating the hidden skill, Flying Steps, he was able to leap around the treetops effortlessly like a martial arts expert. His swords then landed on the birdmen flying in mid-air, one after another. Every slash from Shi Feng's swords caused -160 damage, at least triple the amount of what Gentle Snow and the others dealt. This caused the shield warrior and ranger to shut their mouths immediately. Xiao Yuer watched Shi Feng leaping around the forest with a face filled with admiration, both her eyes glistening radiantly.
Zhao Yueru, as well, was slightly captivated.
Black Flame was definitely not like some person who had dog-shit luck.
Only Gentle Snow remained very calm.
However, Shi Feng's way of battle had truly given her some enlightenment.
She felt that her previous ways of battling were inflexible, unable to accommodate different situations. However, she was not to blame for this. The previous virtual reality games that were available did not contain such a flexible battle styles. It would not be easy for her to change in such a short period.
A short moment later, 4 of the hovering birdmen fell dead. Their bodies fell heavily to the ground, dropping several copper coins and some light feathers. "Let's go."
Shi Feng sheathed his pair of swords after landing on the ground. He then walked in the direction of his destination.
"Big brother Black Flame, don't walk so quickly.
Teach me how to battle as well, alright?"
Xiao Yuer excitedly chased after Shi Feng, hugging Shi Feng's arm and shaking it.
This is a technique for melee jobs.
You don't need to learn it as a cleric.
Shi Feng did not think that Xiao Yuer would be so easygoing and unrestrained. She was completely different from the distinguished person she would be several years later.
"You little girl. Just a moment and you're already making trouble.
Didn't Big Brother Black Flame already say it?
You're not suited for it." Zhao Yueru pulled Xiao Yuer away, panting in rage.
Unconsciously, the way she referred to Shi Feng had changed as well, suddenly becoming much more intimate.
Chapter 86. Watching Shi Feng's back, Gentle Snow grit her teeth. When she thought about the horrifying amount of damage Shi Feng previously dealt and his extraordinary battle methods, she suddenly felt Shi Feng was even more opaque to her than before. She knew all of the top-tier experts in the virtual gaming world. However, she had never heard of a top-tier expert such as Black Flame. The equipment she was currently wearing could be considered the pinnacle amongst the current players. Both she and Shi Feng were level 5, as well.
However, the difference in their damage was actually so large.
Just how excellent was Shi Feng's equipment?
Could it be that he was wearing a full set of level 5 mysterious iron set equipment?
What Gentle Snow did not know was that the Silver Moon set equipment Shi Feng wore was the best set equipment for swordsmen below level 10.
Its attributes were much better than level 5 mysterious iron set equipment. In addition, Shi Feng possessed a magic weapon and a secret silver weapon. Also, because of the effects of the abyssal blade, Shi Feng could deal damage to the birdmen while ignoring the level suppression.
So, his damage would naturally be extremely high.
On their way through the forest, the number of birdmen they met constantly grew. However, even if they were to face more than 10 birdmen at a time, these birdmen would still be killed off very quickly.
Such a result was because of Shi Feng's horrifying damage in addition to the shield warrior holding off the monsters and Gentle Snow and the others becoming more familiar with the battles. The leveling efficiency of Gentle Snow's party right now was much higher than before Shi Feng joined them. Half an hour later, Shi Feng and the others finally arrived at the ruined lands.
Although it was called the ruined lands, in reality, it was just a gigantic crater.
Cave systems of various depths and sizes could be found inside the crater. If one entered deep into a cave, they would easily become lost within it. "Big brother Black Flame, is this the place where you have to do your quest?" Zhao Yueru moved closer to Shi Feng's side, flipping her fine black hair and asking in a soft tone. After being in such a close range with the witch, Zhao Yueru, and seeing deep cleavage revealed by her red robes, it was impossible for Shi Feng not to have thoughts about it.
Even if he did not possess any evil intentions, it became much harder for him to pretend to be profound now.
We'll reach it once we go down this path. However, there are too many birdmen circling in the sky, so won't be easy to get over there. Shi Feng deliberately shifted his gaze to a side, watching the sky above the canyon that led towards the large crater.
The shield warrior and ranger no longer belittled Shi Feng's reminder this time. Instead, they held a hint of reverence towards Shi Feng now. Taking precautions, they looked towards the birdmen in the sky. On the way to this place, it was only thanks to Shi Feng that the two of them did not end up dead. Watching Shi Feng take the first step, entering the narrow canyon, a faint smile appeared on Zhao Yuru's face. She kept on having a familiar feeling when she looked at Shi Feng. This was the first time she felt this sort of sensation. Soon after, Zhao Yueru followed Shi Feng tightly into the canyon. Gentle Snow only smiled sweetly at this scene. How could she not know Zhao Yuru's thoughts? There were extremely few situations where Zhao Yueru was interested in a man in such a way. Of course, if Zhao Yueru could enchant Shi Feng, pulling him into Ouroboros, that, too, would be advantageous. Although there were a lot of birdmen in the canyon, Gentle Snow's party had become increasingly familiar with dealing with these monsters. It was especially true for Gentle Snow. She was a genius. She had already learned Shi Feng's battle methods after only seeing them a few times. She used the cliff walls to jump back and forth, and every time she brandished her blade, she would strike a birdman from the air, sending it to the ground. Moreover, she was able to dodge and avoid the talons and fierce attacks of the birdmen in mid-air. Even without Shi Feng's help, Gentle Snow's party could get rid of all Theseus birdmen. After continuously killing several hundred birdmen, a flash of golden light appeared around Shi Feng's body. He had finally reached level 6, catching up to those leveling madmen. In order to equip the Dark Pursuer's cape a little earlier, Shi Feng placed all of his attribute points into agility. If he were to level up the Abyssal Blade to level 5, he might even be able to equip the Dark Pursuer's cape at level 8. He's level 6 already? Gentle Snow looked over at Shi Feng. She did not imagine that his leveling speed would be so swift. She had been killing monsters to level up without stop, yet she was currently still 23% away from reaching level 6. Meanwhile, Shi Feng clearly busied himself with a variety of things, yet he could still reach level 6 before her. However, when she thought about how Shi Feng could kill monsters of a higher level with such ease, it was no wonder he could level up so quickly. You want to go to that place? The number of monsters there is just too high. Amongst them, there are even quite a lot of level 9 elites and level 10 special elites. Are you sure you want to enter? After arriving at the deeper regions of the large crater, Gentle Snow suddenly discovered that the place was filled with wandering mechanical golems. She could not figure out just what kind of quest Shi Feng had received that actually had such a high difficulty. Even if Shi Feng were even more powerful than he was now, it was absolutely impossible for him to enter that place. The mechanical golems were around a person's height. Mechanical golem, common monster. Level 9. HP 1500-1500. The mechanical warriors were double the size of the mechanical golems, and their hands were holding a blade and shield. Mechanical warrior, elite monster. Level 9. HP 3000-3000. The mechanical knights were the most terrifying of them all. They rode mechanical horses, and they held long pikes. They were over 6 meters tall, just like a 2-storied building. Mechanical Knight, Special Elite. Level 10. HP 7000-7000. In the deepest parts of this horde of mechanical monsters, there was a pair of tightly shut steel gates. However, the number of mechanical puppets and mechanical warriors was just too ridiculous. Just from a simple glance, Gentle Snow estimated over 800 of them. Moreover, in the deepest parts, there were over 100 mechanical knights tightly guarding the front of the steel gates. Clearing all of those mechanical knights without a 1,000-man elite army was only a pipe dream. The amount of these mechanical monsters simply caused one despair. Even being more than 100 yards away from these mechanical monsters frightened Zhao Yueru and the others. The mechanical army would be unparalleled if they were to rush over altogether. The army would be able to annihilate Zhao Yueru and the others instantly.
Big Brother Black Flame, are you really going to go?
You will definitely die. Even though Zhao Yueru was confident in her party's strength, just based on the standards of their level 5 party, clearing the surrounding mechanical golems and mechanical warriors was already a huge problem, not to mention the mechanical knights.
A single mechanical knight might be enough to get rid of them all, let alone facing 100 of them.
I must go there.
However, we need to clear these golems and warriors, which are just hindrances. First, Shi Feng nodded his head. Then, let's slowly lure them over and kill them, clearing the way bit by bit. Gentle Snow had already promised Shi Feng that they would spare no effort in helping him.
Naturally, she would not shrink back now. Moreover, this place was quite good for leveling up.
After killing so many birdmen on the way here, they gained quite a lot of common equipment and materials. If they were to clear all these mechanical warriors, their gains should be even greater.
It was just that the strength of the mechanical warriors was still an unknown to them.
Then, I'll lure them over one by one, Zhao Yueru volunteered.
It was easiest for a ranged player to lure monsters. Moreover, based on her skills, even if the monsters were tightly packed together, she would still be able to lure only 2 to 3 of them over. Their party would also be able to dispose of the monsters easily.
Hold on, Shi Feng suddenly pulled Zhao Yueru back. Is there something wrong?
Zhao Yueru asked. The others looked towards Shi Feng, puzzled. Could it be that Shi Feng did not believe in Zhao Yueru's skills? Shi Feng was very clear with the difficulty of this place.
However, Zhao Yueru and the others did not know that these mechanical monsters were all weapons of war made by the dwarven civilization. If Zhao Yueru were to go and lure the monsters without knowing this, it would only lead to a party wipe.
The mechanical monsters are extremely troublesome to deal with. Their aggro range is extremely wide.
There is no need to mention their defense and attack power. If you were to try and lure one, at least 10 more would follow. With the level suppression, we will definitely be unable to take on that many of them at once.
I have another idea. Which one of you here has a movement speed of over 14 points? My movement speed is 17. Little Song has also reached 14 points. Gentle Snow answered even though she did not understand why Shi Feng asked such a question. You and Little Song both use a speed scroll. In a moment, lure all of the surrounding mechanical monsters and gather them in a single location.
Then, leave the rest to me.
Shi Feng took out 2 speed scrolls.
With these items, based on the mechanical monster's speed, the mechanical monsters would definitely be unable to catch up to the 2 of them. After associating with Shi Feng for some time, Gentle Snow knew that Shi Feng was not one to spout nonsense.
He definitely must have his own reasonings.
Hence, Shi and Little Song both used the speed scrolls, the 2 of them starting to lure the monsters from both sides.
Chapter 87. Gentle Snow and Little Song started luring monsters from 2 sides. Before they even came close to the 30-yard range, the monsters discovered the 2 of them. The monsters' eyes flashed a red glow, all of them turning their heads and staring at the intruders. Alert! Alert! Intruders detected.
After the alarm rang out, all of the mechanical golems and mechanical warriors within a 40-yard radius were alerted. The surrounding mechanical monsters locked onto the 2 players, and within a moment, the 2 were being chased by hundreds of mechanical golems and mechanical warriors. Zhao Yueru was secretly shocked at seeing this.
Fortunately, she did not rashly act and lure the monsters. Otherwise, they would definitely party wipe. Big Brother Black Flame, there won't be a problem luring the monsters in such a way, right?
Zhao Yueru saw that Gentle Snow and Little Song were both being chased closely after by the mechanical army.
If they had not run away in time, they might have already been dead by now. Relax.
With the speed scroll in effect, these mechanical monsters won't be able to catch up to them, Shi Feng said confidently. After some time, as expected, not a single one of the mechanical monsters caught up to the 2. Everything happened just as Shi Feng predicted. After luring all the surrounding mechanical monsters, the two of them circled the large, empty crater, while the mechanical golems and mechanical warriors chased them without stop.
The two of them were very adept at luring monsters. Within a short moment, they had merged the two waves of mechanical monsters into a single wave. Inwardly, Zhao Yueru was speechless. She, too, had a speed scroll.
However, this item was just too expensive.
Even if it was her party members, each of them only possessed one speed scroll for the purpose of saving their own lives. She never imagined that Shi Feng could easily take out two of them. Moreover, he was only using it to lure monsters.
It was truly an extravagant use. However, it was true that, with this added speed scroll, the two of them were able to lure all of the monsters safely.
Now, though, the real problem had arrived. After luring so many monsters, how were they going to deal with them?
They did not possess any AoE magic, and even if they did, they would not dare to use it. Doing so would cause disorder to the control of hatred, as their MT did not learn an advanced skill such as crowdmock. At that time, everyone would just die.
Shi Feng naturally knew the question everyone was thinking.
However, he only revealed a mysterious smile as he walked forward.
In 10 seconds, both of you lure all the monsters to the center,
Shi Feng said in the party chat.
Understood, Gentle Snow answered. Finished speaking, Shi Feng took out a delicate, dark red scroll, then spreading it open in one go. Incantations were written throughout the inside of the scroll.
Just the light coming from the incantations was enough to cause the fire mana in the surroundings to surge. After seeing this, even an amateur would know that the item Shi Feng took out was not simple. As an elementalist, Zhao Yuru's face was filled with shock.
Just what kind of magic scroll was this? The magic scrolls sold by the magic shops were definitely unable to create such a feat.
Just the incantations alone were enough to cause the fire mana of the surrounding area to gather quickly, becoming incomparably violent. Such a gathering of fire mana was even stronger than the fire dragon's roar she used by several times. If Shi Feng were to release it, who knew how strong it would be? At this moment, Shi Feng activated the magic scroll and pulled out the abyssal blade.
Suddenly, the fire mana collected above the magic scroll poured down like mercury, and streak after streak of flames over 10 meters in length penetrated the abyssal blade.
Magnificent flames then burst out of the abyssal blade's form, suddenly transforming into a sword of flame.
It faintly released the cry of a phoenix, resounding throughout the surroundings.
Naturally, everyone noticed such a vast and mighty power.
Nobody thought Shi Feng would actually still have such a hidden ace in the hole. In fact, Shi Feng did not wish to use this Tier 2 magic scroll. He would have one less after every use. Moreover, Shi Feng had only harvested 4 such items from all of Moonlight Forest. Now that he had used one, he only had 3 remaining.
At this time, Gentle Snow and Little Song had already lured all of the mechanical monsters to the central region of the crater. They then ran towards Shi Feng.
The mechanical monsters were coming in closer and closer, 40 yards. 30 yards. 20 yards. 10 yards.
However, Shi Feng had still not taken any action. He was only standing there, silently, with his hand holding the dazzling and burning hot sword. Just as Gentle Snow and Little Song ran past Shi Feng abruptly took action, slashing out his burning blade. Tier 2 magic, Flame Blade Dance. In the blink of an eye, Shi Feng's slash released countless crimson flames. The scorching flames were like an ocean, instantly swallowing the entire mechanical army. The cone-shaped flames burned everything in a 60-yard distance to ash.
Even if the mechanical warriors had 3000 HP, they were still unable to withstand the damage from this move as they all turned into a pile of scrap metal. Meanwhile, Shi Feng's experience abruptly increased by a large chunk, rising to 37% of level 6. The other party members had also broken through from level 5, one after another, all of them reaching level 6.
Their leveling speed was just too awesome. Everyone's gazes then went towards the loot littering the ground, joy immediately rushing up to their heads. Shi Feng was just too awesome.
He used a single move to kill level 9 elite monsters instantly.
Although he depended on an external item to do so, being able to obtain such an item was still proof of his ability. If they were to go through this process again several more times, they would be able to reach level 10 at any minute. At this moment, Gentle Snow, as well, was rejoicing at her choice to aid Shi Feng in his quest. Just the express they obtained alone profited them big time. Big Brother Black Flame, what kind of scroll did you use? It was actually so powerful. Zhao Yueru blinked her eyes at Shi Feng, asking curiously.
A Tier 2 magic scroll, Shi Feng casually said. Big Brother Black Flame, where can I buy it?
Zhao Yueru was captivated by this magic scroll after seeing its destructive capabilities. It would be worth it even if she had to spend 10 silver coins to buy one. Shi Feng shook his head, saying with a smile, this item can't be bought. It will only appear by chance when opening a high-grade treasure chest.
Oh!
Zhao Yueru was slightly disappointed. Shi Feng might have spat out blood if he knew Zhao Yueru thought of buying the Tier 2 magic scroll for only 10 silver coins.
Nobody would sell a Tier 2 magic scroll.
That was because this item was just too valuable. If used at a crucial point, it was possible to create a comeback situation. In Shi Feng's previous life, there were many large guilds who offered 2 to 3 gold coins for Tier 2 magic scrolls but still failed to purchase any. If it were not due to the importance of this quest, Shi Feng would not have been willing to use this scroll. Gentle Snow originally wished to find out more about the magic scroll, as this item was truly too useful. However, after hearing Shi Feng's tone, it was clear that he was feeling heartache over having used the item. Even the rich and overbearing chief forger was feeling heartache.
One could just imagine how rare this item was.
However, when Gentle Snow heard that she could obtain such an item from a high-grade treasure chest, she thought to herself that she would let the players from her guild make a note of it.
Following which, everyone else started cleaning up the loot.
There were plenty of elite monsters amongst the over 800 mechanical monsters, so there were many items dropped.
Amongst them, there was no lack of level 7 to level 8 common equipment. There were even over 30 pieces of bronze equipment and several skill books.
You killed all these monsters, and we were not of much help. So, we won't be taking any of the equipment or skill books.
Gentle Snow traded all the items to Shi Feng after she finished arranging the loot.
However, the shield warrior started drooling when he looked at all the equipment for MTs.
He was extremely reluctant to part with them.
However, he also did not dare have any objections to give everything to Shi Feng. You all helped out quite a lot.
Let's split according to job requirements.
As for these skill books, I'll be taking them.
Shi Feng only kept all of the skill books because he discovered a special skill, precision throw, amongst them. This skill was extremely useful to him. As for the bronze equipment, they were worth but a few gold coins, so they were not as valuable to him. The equipment he was currently wearing was the Silvermoon set equipment. Shi Feng did not plan on changing equipment while he was below level 10.
As for Blackie and the others, he would obtain equipment that would better suit them.
Although the equipment did not serve much purpose to Shi Feng,
they were very useful to Gentle Snow.
I would feel embarrassed if I were to accept them vainly.
How about I purchase all of them?
I currently don't have enough game coins on hand. Could I pay using credits?
Gentle Snow, not wishing to owe Shi Feng a favor, softly asked. Paying with credits is fine as well. Shi Feng was naturally very willing. In a short moment, Gentle Snow had transferred 50,000 credits to Shi Feng, enriching Shi Feng quite a lot once more. What about the remaining mechanical knights?
Are you going to use a magic scroll again?
Gentle Snow looked towards the over 100 mechanical knights guarding the large gate, asking in anticipation. A Tier 2 magic scroll can't get rid of them.
Moreover, I don't need to kill them to enter into that place. I just need to lure them away.
When Shi Feng heard Gentle Snow saying so, his forehead couldn't help but sweat.
Tier 2 magic scrolls weren't just some kind of cabbage he could waste. Leave it to me, then.
Gentle Snow looked at the terrain and entered into deep thought.
She felt that there should be no problem in accomplishing the task.
Here are some speed scrolls and return scrolls. As long as you run out of the crater, they will not continue chasing. After leaving the battle, you all can use the return scrolls to leave this place, Shi Feng explained and took out several scrolls. Seeing that they were about to part from each other, Zhao Yueru felt unwillingness in her heart.
She did not know why, but she could feel a sense of ease and security when she was with Shi Feng. Big brother Black Flame, let's add each other as friends. We're going to enter a level 5 dungeon tomorrow, so how about you come and join us?
Zhao Yueru suddenly said. Gentle Snow was faintly astonished. She looked at Zhao Yueru with a helpless smile.
However, she felt that this was not really a bad choice. With Shi Feng around, their chances of clearing the level 5 dungeon would be even greater. Shi Feng did not think that this witch would actually want to add him as a friend. Moreover, she even invited him to dive into a dungeon. This behavior of hers right now was just way too different from before.
We can add each other as friends, but I have some things to do tomorrow. We'll dive into a dungeon together when I have time in the future. Shi Feng tactically rejected the invitation. After all, he couldn't suddenly multiply himself into 2 people. As for the matter of adding each other as friends, Shi Feng possessed another independent circle of friends after donning the demon mask.
So, others would not be able to discover any issues.
Let us add each other as friends then. Zhao Yueru softly bit her lips. She was slightly disappointed that she would not be able to dive into a dungeon with Shi Feng immediately. However, it was still good that she could add him as a friend.
She would be able to contact him more easily in the future.
System. Do you wish to accept Flaming Moon's friend request?
Shi Feng hit accept, and the name Flaming Moon entered Black Flame's friend window.
Afterward, Shi Feng headed towards the left side of the gate. At this moment, Gentle Snow had already arrived at the gate's right side, prepared to lure the mechanical knights. Elder Sister Yueru, let us leave first.
We can just leave the rest to Elder Sister Snow, Xiao Yuer softly said when she noticed that Zhao Yueru remained motionless. I got it.
Zhao Yueru, after taking another glance at Shi Feng's back, turned around and left. Seeing that Shi Feng was ready, Gentle Snow activated the speed scroll and rushed at the level 10 mechanical knights. Halfway there, the eyes of mechanical knights in front of the large gate shone brightly. Their enormous bodies started moving, and all of them had their eyes focused on Gentle Snow. Gentle Snow immediately halted her steps.
She then turned around and escaped. The mechanical knights bellowed in rage as they moved their large figures, chasing after Gentle Snow. Only when all of the mechanical knights left did Shi Feng hastily run towards the large steel gates. Although Gentle Snow had lured the mechanical knights away, the amount of time they could be lured was limited. Moreover, they would not fall for the same trick the next time, so Shi Feng had to seize the opportunity.
Arriving at the large gate, Shi Feng found a moss-covered keyhole. He then inserted the broken obsidian crystal given to him by Blackbeard. The fortress key had already been stored away for almost a millennium. Blackbeard also mentioned that the key might not be able to open the gates. However, it was still worth a try. Chapter 88. After inserting the obsidian key, there was no reaction from the steel gate. It was still as unmoving as ever. At this moment, a message arrived from Gentle Snow. She told Shi Feng that the mechanical knights had suddenly stopped chasing her and were quickly returning. Crap, it can't be, right? The key really doesn't work? In a fit of rage, Shi Feng abruptly sent a punch towards the keyhole. Since he could not use the simplest way to enter, then he could only use the more dangerous method to enter. D. Suddenly, a dazzling golden light radiated out from the keyhole. Countless energy runes flashed on the pair of three-storied gates. After which, the gates slowly opened, letting out ear-piercing creaking sounds. Seeing that the mechanical knights had already hurried over, while a gap fit for a person had opened between the pair of gates. Without hesitation, Shi Feng pulled out the obsidian key, and the gates stopped moving instantly. Following which, Shi Feng squeezed himself through the gap between the gates. System. You have discovered the steel fortress Baruya. The two-storied tall mechanical knights tried to rush in through the gates. However, the gap between the gates was just too narrow for them to pass through. In addition to the gate's immense weight, the mechanical knights could only bombard attacks at the gate outside. Unfortunately, their actions were not one bit useful. I'm inside. After Shi Feng sent a message to Gentle Snow, he carefully headed forward along the gigantic steel pathway. On the other side of the ruined lands. Snow. How is he? Waiting by the side, Zhao Yueru asked when she saw Gentle Snow running in her direction. No problems. He's already inside. However, this quest is truly dangerous. I've roughly estimated the mechanical knight's strength just now, and I've discovered that these mechanical knights are completely different than other special elites. They can swiftly block my attacks, in addition to instantly returning with a counterattack. If it wasn't for my quick reaction, I might have died just now. If we do not possess a skill that could continuously deal large amounts of damage, even if we could kite them around, we would still be helpless against these mechanical knights. Instead, we would just be piling up our own corpses. Gentle Snow sat down and took out some refreshments, eating and drinking to recover. Currently, her mind filled with the battle scenes from before. It was truly a thrilling situation. Just by receiving the shockwave, which resulted from the mechanical knight's pike striking the ground, she lost over 200 HP. If the weapon hit her directly, the consequences would be inconceivable. After listening to Gentle Snow's words, for reasons unknown, Zhao Yueru released a relieved breath. Alright, stop dreaming. We'll be grinding birdmen in the canyon. The loot and experience here are quite good, so we should be able to quickly surpass those top-tier experts. After recovering, Gentle Snow stood up and commanded. Meanwhile, inside the steel fortress, Shi Feng was advancing carefully. Signs of rust and corrosion covered every inch inside the fortress. There were only flashing fragments of light inside, barely allowing Shi Feng to see the path clearly. After walking for quite some distance, Shi Feng did not discover any danger. There was only the occasional sound of dripping water and the rumbling sounds of machines operating. Even though more than a millennium had passed, a majority of the machinery here still functioned normally. One could clearly see just how advanced the techniques the dwarven civilization possessed were. After passing through the large hallway, Shi Feng arrived at an area with a humongous smelting furnace. The surrounding steel walls around the furnace were linked together with steel stairs, and at the bottom of the furnace was an endlessly deep pool of water. However, Shi Feng did not head along the stairs towards the next exit. Instead, he leapt and jumped towards the pool. Halfway down, Shi Feng activated gravity liberation. His falling speed sharply reduced, his body slowly descending like a feather. During his descent, Shi Feng suddenly noticed a passage on the walls. The passage could barely allow a person to enter. However, the information Shi Feng had collected in his previous life did not mention such a passage. Hence, Shi Feng slowly floated over, accurately landing in the hidden passageway. There is actually a treasure chest here. Did none of those people notice it last time? Shi Feng discovered that, in the deepest part of the passageway, there was a large pitch-black steel chest. Many runes were carved onto the chest, and a glance was enough to tell it was not just a simple chest. After observing it in detail, Shi Feng determined that the chest was a mysterious iron treasure chest. However, Shi Feng did not rush to open the treasure chest. Instead, He used Phantom Kill, allowing his doppelganger to go over and take a look. Just as the doppelganger started activating the treasure chest, the surrounding steel wall shot out countless flying arrows. The doppelganger was killed in an instant, giving Shi Feng a scare.
Fortunately, Shi Feng had made it a habit to be cautious and prudent when in God's domain.
Otherwise, he would have really died. Such types of traps were normally one-time uses. However, Shi Feng did not rush. In any case, the chest wouldn't run away, so he might as well wait until Phantom Kill's cooldown finished, then use his doppelganger to open the treasure chest. This time, the doppelganger had managed to open the treasure chest safely.
With no more dangers present, Shi Feng walked over to the chest and took out its contents. Inside, there was a mysterious iron-ranked blackstone shield.
It was absolutely a top-tier level 10 shield.
Blackstone shield, mysterious iron rank. Level 10. Equipment requirement, strength 25. Defense plus 69. Defend rate 29%. Strength plus 7, endurance plus 10. HP plus 200.
After equipping, all damage received from the front will be reduced by 10%.
There was also a mysterious Iron Mastery book.
When used, players would randomly receive 10 to 50 free mastery points. This item was several times rarer than the Blackstone Shield. That was because mastery points could last a player forever, while the Blackstone Shield could not.
Hopefully my luck won't be too bad,
Shi Feng slightly prayed before selecting to use the mastery book.
Following which, the system started displaying a pile of random numbers ranging from 10 to 50.
As long as Shi Feng yelled, "Stop," the final number to appear would be the number of mastery points he would obtain.
It was something similar to Russian roulette. In Shi Feng's previous life, many experts collected various kinds of mastery books to increase their weapon mastery.
However, mastery books were just too rare, and even with money, one may not necessarily be able to buy it.
Most players that obtained a mastery book would use it instead of selling it.
After all, it was extremely hard to obtain a single free mastery point. Shi Feng had once seen a person who was fortunate enough to obtain a fine gold mastery book. Many players looked at that person with immense envy, and some were even willing to spend 1,000,000 credits to buy the mastery book from that person. However, that person refused to sell and instead used the mastery book for himself. The range of free mastery points provided by the fine gold mastery book was between 30 to 200.
Originally, everyone thought this fellow had very good luck.
However, that person only obtained 31 free mastery points, in the end, becoming a laughingstock to everyone. The points he obtained was no better than a mysterious iron mastery book.
Looking at the numbers constantly spinning, Shi Feng's heart madly thumped, not knowing what number would come out.
"Stop!"
Shi Feng shouted.
The wheel of numbers abruptly halted, and Shi Feng peered open his eyes and took a look.
32 points. A relatively good number. Shi Feng had just effortlessly obtained 32 free mastery points, which was the equivalent of the free mastery points he would obtain by leveling up to level 20.
Shi Feng opened his one-handed sword mastery window. Currently, his one-handed sword mastery was still at 20 points, placing him at the level of basic swordsman and increasing his base damage by 10%. If including the 8 free mastery points he obtained for leveling up to level 5, and the 5 points he had remaining from before, he now had a total of 45 free mastery points. Shi Feng immediately added 30 mastery points to his one-handed sword mastery.
Instantly, his one-handed sword mastery rose to the level of an intermediate swordsman, increasing his base damage by 15%.
As for becoming an advanced swordsman, he was still 50 points away from doing so.
Although it was just a 5% increase in base damage, it should not be taken lightly. This base damage would be magnified many times after factoring in the bonuses from skills.
Often, the gap present between a top-tier expert and a normal expert was due to the difference in base damages. At this stage of the game, there might only be a fragment of experts who have reached basic mastery. Shi Feng had already reached intermediate mastery, leading them by a lot. Just as Shi Feng was about to continue advancing deeper into the steel fortress, the fortress alarm rang out.
Chapter 89. Alert! Alert! There is an intruder in Area F. Activating self-defense system.
Before Shi Feng could celebrate his gains, a bucket of cold water dumped over his head by this loud voice.
He did not think that there would be such a trap after opening the treasure chest.
Just after arriving at the passage's exit, Shi Feng discovered that the passages leading to the other areas of the steel fortress were all sealed off, preventing him from entering.
Meanwhile, the water level of the pool below started rising, and according to its speed, it would not be long before the passage flooded. Without hesitation, Shi Feng took out a bottle of underwater breathing potion, drinking it. The potion allowed players to breathe underwater for 20 minutes. Following which, Shi Feng immediately leapt into the pool, diving towards the deepest region. After swimming down for over 10 minutes, Shi Feng finally saw a dark passage. However, the water currents from there flowed rapidly, and it would not be easy for Shi Feng to approach the passage. After spending a long period, and drinking a second bottle of underwater breathing potion, Shi Feng managed to crawl his way towards the passage entrance with much difficulty. Following which, he was washed away by the rapidly flowing water, his body unable to move as the current continuously pushed him along the passageway. After flowing along the water currents for several minutes, Shi Feng was thrown out of the passage and landed in another large pool. Near a wall of the large pool, some stairs spiraled upward. As long as he went up these stairs, he would arrive at the core of the fortress. Shi Feng swam towards the stairway. He then looked at the time. It was almost 8 o'clock in the morning now, and since locating the Titan's heart was not accomplishable in a short amount of time, Shi Feng immediately called out the system interface and chose to log out. Upon waking up early in the morning, the first thing Shi Feng did was train his body. This action had long since deeply ingrained in his bones. However, he could clearly feel that his body was different from yesterday. His body no longer felt stiff, and instead, it felt extremely refreshed. The positive effects of the C-rank nutrient fluids he drank were evident. The fluid was slowly altering his body's condition. Strike the iron while it's hot. Shi Feng then started working out, doing sit-ups, push-ups and other muscle-strengthening actions. After working out for over an hour, Shi Feng still did not feel tired. On the contrary, his body felt comfortably warm, as if there were an inexhaustible amount of energy within him. However, he did not continue training his body. Instead, he went downstairs to have a meal. Desperately working out was not necessarily a good thing. It needed to be done in moderation, as overworking his body would only yield opposite effects. After going through a night's struggle, the gold coins he sold and the credits he obtained from Gentle Snow filled his current bank account with over 200,000 credits. A night of his efforts was worth 2 months of salary of an executive from a big company. This was the power of God's domain that had turned around the virtual economy. After a year, becoming rich overnight in God's domain was not a strange affair whatsoever. Unfortunately, not many enterprises had discovered this fact yet. By the time they did discover it, they would have lagged far behind those companies that invested in God's domain in the beginning. After eating, Shi Feng made a trip to the bank. He specifically retrieved 30,000 credits, intending to buy the virtual reality helmets he rented. Otherwise, if he were to leave it and forget about it, he would eventually be forced out of the game. At that time, he would have to wait until the next working day before handling the necessary procedures, and only after could he continue playing. Currently, the game was in a sprinting stage. If Shi Feng were to fall behind by a day, it would be extremely difficult for him to catch back up. It was also a good chance for Shi Feng to invite Blackie out for a stroll. If Blackie always hid inside his dormitory, his body was bound to have problems.
There were very few people on the streets of the university early in the morning. There were only some sports societies doing their morning exercises, warming up for their workout later on.
Watching these university students that radiated youth, Xifeng felt an unreal feeling. It was as if the 10 years he spent battling in God's domain were just an illusion that would vanish with just a touch. Walking along the roadside, Xifeng admired the university campus as he headed towards Blackie's dormitory. He was experiencing the sceneries on the campus that he paid no attention to in his previous life. As he was about to enter into Blackie's dormitory, Xifeng heard sounds of laughter coming from within.
"Blackie, weren't you extremely confident in getting into Shadow Workshop before?"
"I've been waiting for you for several days now, so why haven't I seen you there yet?" "Wu Yi, haven't I already said it before? I joined another workshop, so I didn't participate in Shadow's test."
"Blackie, don't try to trick me. Where in the entire Jinhai University is there another workshop? What is it called? How many members does it have?
Who established it?
Can you tell me that?
If they treat players well, I might even decide to join."
Being asked in such a way, Blackie suddenly realized that Xifeng did not actually tell him the name of their workshop.
As for the number of members, taking everything into account, there were exactly 6 people.
Not to mention having a workshop to play God's domain, they possessed absolutely nothing right now and were even riddled with debt.
"Blackie, stop being obstinate.
I know that you didn't pass Shadow's test.
If it really is no good, then let Brother Wu plead for you. In any case, Brother Wu is currently an official member. Who knows? You might be able to become an outer member of Shadow.
At the very least, you could continue playing God's domain, and earning 2,000 credits a month should not be a problem.
Don't forget, the trial period for the virtual gaming helmet is only 10 days. After this period, you will not be able to continue playing the game," Blackie's fellow dormmate sneered.
"It can't be, right?
What kind of workshop can't even afford an official virtual gaming helmet?
Isn't that just too pitiful?"
Wu Yi pretended to be shocked.
He then clapped Blackie's shoulders, saying with a sigh, "Even the outer members of Shadow are given an official helmet. Official members even receive an advanced helmet that's worth 20,000 credits.
Your workshop is just ripping you off."
"Who started the thing? I'll demand justice for you. Why don't you mingle with me from now on? I can guarantee that you'll obtain an official helmet. By the time I become a core member of Shadow, I guarantee that you'll be able to live in luxury. You should know that young Master Lan has already invested 5 million credits in Shadow.
I heard that he has invested another 2 million now. If you enter Shadow, your future will be limitless." "Wu Yi, I've already said it. I won't be joining. I'm currently getting by very well," Blackie quickly rejected.
"Blackie, you should know that there aren't many such chances. Shadow Workshop is the best workshop in Jinhai University. If it weren't for the fact that you're already level 5 and we're classmates, I wouldn't even be looking for you."
Wu Yi patiently persuaded, "You keep saying that you've joined some other workshop, but you have to tell me at least the name, right?
Must you keep lying to a classmate in such a way? What?
Don't tell me that this workshop doesn't even have a name? Even if it doesn't have a name, you must know which person established it, right?
Nowadays, even nobodies dare to make workshops, so you mustn't be tricked. Shadow Workshop has an upright business sponsoring it, and there is also a contract to ensure that you won't starve to death at the very least." Wu Yi was all praises about Shadow.
It was as if one would become an elite in society just for entering Shadow Workshop, becoming the envy of others.
However, Blackie had long since seen through Shadow.
He did not have even the slightest favorable opinion towards Shadow. He only blamed himself for having a big mouth, showing off to others that he had already risen to level 5.
As a result, the information was found out by Shadow Workshop, and they had sent Wu Yi, his classmate, to recruit him. However, how could he so easily betray Xifeng and join Shadow? He was only able to obtain all of his current achievements by relying on Xifeng.
Even if he had to suffer hardships right now, he still believed that Shi Feng would lead him towards the path of success.
At this stage of the game, all the level 5 players were experts. To Shadow Workshop, which was currently lacking experts, Blackie was an alluring beauty. So, naturally, they were itching to try and recruit him, turning him into one of their belongings. At this moment, Shi Feng opened the door, taking a step into the room.
I am the nobody that established the workshop. I wonder what kind of opinion you have. Shi Feng looked towards the robust Wu Yi, speaking coldly. Chapter 90.
As Shi Feng entered and spoke. Who are you?
Wu Yi was slightly startled, his eyes evaluating Shi Feng. Shi Feng wore a cheap-looking white-blue sporting wear. Although his imposing manner gave Wu Yi chills down his back, after seeing that Shi Feng was not even wearing a quantum watch on his wrist, a hint of disdain entered Wu Yi's eyes. In this day and age, even the slightly wealthier students all possessed quantum watches. Wu Yi determined that Shi Feng was not one of the wealthy children and that he was in a similar situation as Blackie. Brother Feng, why are you here?
Blackie's expression was slightly panicked. He was worried Shi Feng would misunderstand and think he was trying to job hop. Brother Feng, I really didn't seek out Shadow.
I've also rejected them, but Wu Yi won't stop annoying me about it. When Blackie's classmates saw him panicking and explaining, they were all puzzled at the identity of this new arrival.
Blackie had already risen to level 5 in God's domain, so he was definitely an expert.
Many workshops would fight over for him, treating him as an important guest. Even Shadow sent someone over to recruit Blackie.
If the upper echelons of Shadow met Blackie, they might also act very cordially and treat him with respect. However, Blackie had respectfully addressed the stranger in front of them as Brother Feng, confusing them.
Could the person in front of them be some famous person in their school?
However, no matter how they racked their brains, they could not think of such a person present in their university.
I know. Shi Feng sent Blackie an expression that told him to be at ease.
Shi Feng then looked towards the man named Wu Yi and laughingly said, I'm called Shi Feng, and I am the nobody who established the workshop you just mentioned.
Didn't you wish to know the name of my workshop? I can tell it to you. The workshop's name is Zero Wing. It means that everything has to start out from zero and to spread your wings and soar.
If you don't have any other matters, please return and tell your boss not to try poaching the members of other workshops. He is better off taking care of his own lands, lest they fall apart without him even knowing what happened. Hearing Shi Feng saying so, Wu Yu couldn't help but reveal a sneer as he laughed. As expected, even a nobody knows how to start a workshop. Why don't you take a look at yourself?
Do you think you can start a workshop just by announcing it? Wu Yi narrowed his eyes, mocking. Do you know how large our Shadow Workshop is? Do you know how many members our Shadow Workshop has? Do you know who is backing our Shadow Workshop? Do you know how much our workshop has invested? Do you still think that we need to poach members from worthless workshops like yours?
Just based on the fact that you guys are still using the trial helmet to play the game shows how dirt poor you are. Did you think that, just by being full of zeal, you could establish yourselves in God's domain and earn money? All the workshops that have tried to establish themselves in God's domain have at least invested several millions of credits. Meanwhile, you have no money, no members, no facilities, and not even the most basic of assurance. So, what right do you have to compare to us, Shadow? If you kneel down and beg me right now, I might even put in a few good words to Brother Lan. If you pay up some 10 or 20,000 credits, you might be able to join the workshop. How about it? Think about it. This is a rare chance for you.
Wu Yi smiled savagely.
He then shifted his gaze to Blackie, coldly saying, Shadow is already giving you a lot of respect by sending me here to recruit you. As long as you join, you'll immediately receive the treatment of being a core member, and your monthly salary will be at least 5,000 credits. It is hundreds of times better than staying in a workshop that is barely surviving. When Blackie's several dorm mates heard of this treatment, all of them had expressions of shock on their faces. They did not think that playing God's domain would be so rewarding.
Compared to those city white-collar workers, Blackie's salary was much higher.
Suddenly, the gazes they used to look at Blackie changed. They no longer looked down on him. Rather, their gazes now filled with envy and admiration.
They were only several months away from graduating from the university. Right now, they were still having headaches over finding jobs.
Meanwhile, Blackie had someone personally coming to his door to recruit him, and the other party had even offered a minimum monthly salary of $5,000.
As the saying went, comparisons are odious.
If they had known about this earlier, they would have properly played games and gave God's domain a try.
They might have even become experts.
They would not have had to chase after girls for their 4 years in universities and been looked down upon by those girls.
If they managed to earn money, beauties would be lined up for their choosing.
However, after listening to Wu Yi, Blackie, instead, started laughing. Wu Yi actually dared to make fun of the workshop Shi Feng had started, calling it worthless, and even wanted to make Shi Feng kneel before him in order to join Shadow.
He was retarded. The snow goddess is even paying attention to Brother Feng, and she even wanted to recruit Shi Feng. Who was the snow goddess? She was the vice-captain of the first-rate guild, Ouroboros. She was the publicly acknowledged goddess of the virtual gaming world. Compared to Ouroboros, Shadow Workshop was not even worth a dime.
Seeing Wu Yi's mood sour, Blackie sneered at him and said, "Wu Yi, even if you exaggerate it to no end, my decision will remain unchanged.
Although Zero Wing Workshop has just started, I believe that our future achievements will definitely be greater than Shadow's. I advise you to leave Shadow a little earlier and join our Zero Wing Workshop. I'll ask Brother Feng for a favor.
If you kneel and apologize to him, who knows, you might even be able to become a member of Zero Wing."
Blackie's dorm mates were shocked upon hearing him. His declaration confused them greatly. In the end, which workshop was truly the awesome one? Could it be that, nowadays, choosing the workshop that couldn't even afford an official gaming helmet was the right choice? You are simply unreasonable. Wu Yi was almost speechless with anger. Blackie actually used his own words to make fun of him. If it weren't for Brother Zhang instructing him that he definitely must invite Blackie, he would have long since left. It was against his expectations that Blackie would have a brain defect, throwing away a good future and insisting on mingling in a gutter-like place.
"Blackie, I am only reminding you because I value talent. Our Shadow is currently trying to annex the 45th ranked workshop in Jinhai City, Hungry Wolves Workshop. When Shadow succeeds in doing so, we will rank at the top of all of Jinhai City. If you were to miss this chance now, there would be no more chances for you in the future." Wu Yi shot a glance at Shi Feng, coldly saying, "Meanwhile, your workshop can't even afford the official gaming helmet. How do you plan to play God's domain in the future? It would be better if you joined Shadow. A great future is awaiting you here." Faced with such a brazen way of poaching people, even if Shi Feng's temper were much cooler, he would still get slightly angry. Since they were fated to battle each other, then battle it was. Who said that our workshop couldn't afford the official gaming helmet? Shi Feng took out the 20,000 credits from his pocket, casually throwing it on the table, saying, "I previously decided that starting a workshop would be too sudden, and I was never able to decide which type of official gaming helmet I would buy. So, I was only using the trial helmet as a temporary replacement. However, today, I'm here to give Blackie the money to buy an advanced gaming helmet. But really, it's not that I'm trying to criticize Shadow, but aren't you guys being too cheap in poaching for people? The salary I'm giving Blackie is 20,000 credits minimum. Your Shadow is so rich, and has invested so much, yet, the salary you're offering is only a minimum of 5,000 credits? When Blackie saw the shining white credits on the table, he turned to look at Shi Feng astonished eyes. Nobody was more knowledgeable of Shi Feng's financial condition than he was, so how was he able to suddenly throw down 20,000 credits? Could it be that? Shi Feng robbed a bank? The others in the dormitory swallowed their saliva when they saw the credits scattered across the table.
Usually, Blackie remained hidden and did not seem like anything special.
They did not think that his monthly salary would be 20,000 credits.
It was no wonder why he refused to join Shadow Workshop. After all, Shadow was only offering him 5,000 credits, 4 times less than his current earnings. Even an idiot would know which side to choose.
What was even more unthinkable was that Shi Feng, who was wearing a suit of cheaply looking sportswear, was actually a brother tycoon.